What's up, everybody? Welcome to the King Closers Formula. I'm the King Closer, RJ Bates III, and it's that time. It's that time where we're going to revisit the King Closers Formula. Man, I still remember the first time we did this video back in October. It's still popping off. We're approaching 20,000 views on the initial video that we did. One of the best performing videos I've ever done. One of the most fun videos that I've ever done. And we thought, hey, it's been like 7 months since we did that video. We should probably redo it because not that the closers formula has changed, but there have been some tactics that we've added to it from experience. Not necessarily my experience or my team's experience, but the experience of having Titanium University, being able to do live seller call reviews with Titanium University members every single week and seeing like how they're closing more deals, how they're utilizing the closers formula. And we wanted to bring that to you guys here on YouTube. Really reset the groundwork for what we're going to be talking about moving forward in the future. We're going to be kind of going back through the basics and putting down an outline for you guys so you guys can close more deals in your wholesaling business. Because let's be honest, the only reason why you're tuning into these videos is because you want to change, you want some sort of difference in your business, and that's what we want to provide to you. So today, it's going to be purely just us talking about how to talk to sellers and how to close more deals. And to close those deals, here's the thing. We're going to teach you how to do that by avoiding all of the script aspect, the mental manipulation, the lying to sellers. This is all based around just being you, being yourself, utilizing your personality, and being a deal finder, not a deal manufacturer. Okay. These are foundational elements to the King Closers formula. Okay. I want you guys to understand that we are deal finders. We are not deal manufacturers. We are not going to try to manipulate sellers. We're not going to play mind games or anything along those lines. And the reason why this is not a script and it's a formula is because it's all based around your ability to listen, ask great questions, and then see if you're the right solution for them. That's what makes us a deal finder, okay? So when you're going through, you're going to be asking questions that can help the seller kind of divulge the information that they don't really know to give you because you're the professional on the phone. They are not. You are the buyer. They are the seller. We want them to perform that role, but just because they are the seller doesn't necessarily know. That doesn't mean that they know how to sell their property. Okay. Now, that being said, it's been a while since we've done this. And I know when we did this the first time, we had people from Switzerland. I think we had people watch that video in like 6 different continents. So, I mean, look, right there, Jason, hello from Egypt. That's just awesome. So first thing I want to start off with is drop a comment of where you're watching from. I appreciate you guys already dropping that in. We got Wisconsin. We got Fort Worth, Texas. Cowtown in the house. Yeah, that's what I want to know. What time is it in Egypt? That's crazy. Utah. That's awesome. I have a few deals for you. If you have deals, we only wholesale in Utah. So if you want a JV with us, bold mindset, send it to jv@titanium.investments. We actually just closed on our first deal in Utah, which boom, checked off. All 50 states are now done. We got the Bay Area. We got Georgia. We got Florida. We got San Antonio. You need a buyer in Hawaii. Big Island's a little tough. Oahu is where most of the buyers are, but you can send that deal to jv@titanium.investments. North Olympic Peninsula. I don't know where that is. Sounds like Washington State, but I think I'm just saying that because of Olympia. But you said Olympic, so I could be dead wrong. Birmingham, Alabama. It's 10 p.m. in Egypt. Oh, it's early. It's early. This is great for you to go to sleep too. People's Republic of Portland. Okay. We got California. Do I do deals in Hawaii? We do deals everywhere. So yes, we've done quite a few deals in all Hawaii. Houston. What's up, bro? You know where I'm at? That's right. I do know where you are. Got Lakeland, Florida. So awesome. Good to see you guys. I'm excited for today's video because I always say this is my favorite topic, right? It has to be, right? I've been given the nickname the King Closer, so I better be good at least talking about this topic of how to talk to sellers, how to close deals. Like I said at the top of this, we're going to be going through the closers formula, and then as I get into it, getting more into the mindset, some of the things that we've learned through the past 7 months since we really rolled this out to the masses. So that's why we're calling this Closers Formula 2.0. It's the 2.0 version of this. So number one, a couple of days before we get into this is the mindset and theory behind the King Closer Formula. First and foremost, okay, closing deals does not have to be complicated, all right? I want you guys to relax when it comes to closing deals, okay? The reason why closing is not complicated is because the seller is seeking your solution, okay? They're looking for you. They're looking for someone that offers what we offer, okay? So if we were consistently having to have this conversation about cold outreach, okay, it's a little bit different, but not really, because again, what are we? We are deal finders. We're not deal manufacturers. So if you find a motivated seller, they are going to need your solution that you provide. And so it's not complicated. What makes it complicated is if we're trying to close deals where the seller's not motivated, where it's truly not a deal. That's where it becomes a complicated process. Outside of that, it's really not complicated, okay? The goal is to find a motivated seller. Nowadays, that's easier than it's ever been with LeadZolo, Property Lead, Speed to Lead, these PPL providers. It's so easy to swipe your credit card and have those motivated sellers come to you. So you're not really having to mine to find these motivated sellers. It's a lot easier nowadays to just pick up the phone. Hey, this person just reached out to me and they're looking to sell their property. It's easier than it's ever been. We are the buyers. Embrace that, okay? When you are in the conversation with these sellers, understand that at all times, you need to have the posture and the position that you are the buyer and they are selling you something. Any other time when we go to buy something in this world, it's very easy for us to perform that role. You go into a store, it's easy for you to perform being a buyer. They have something to sell. I'm looking to buy. How much do you want for it? Do I want it for that price? Yes or no? If it's yes, boom, we move forward and you buy the product. Same thing here. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just embrace being the buyer. The other thing is when I go through this and I explain the 5 steps, there are certain things that you need to become machine-like with, okay, where you can easily do it over and over. This is one of the struggles, the hurdles that I've seen so far in the closers formula, where people are struggling a little bit because they're still treating the formula like a script where, all right, I know what I'm supposed to say, but when things get thrown off, it's not machine-like yet where they know how to pivot. When I'm on the phone with a seller, very rarely is there a moment in a call where I just don't know what to say, because I've put in so many reps and I've done it over and over and over again that no matter what that seller says on the other end of the line, I already pretty much know how to respond. Even in tragic scenarios where you're dealing with, a loss of a loved one, or, losing a property due to terrible financial circumstances, it's easy for me to revert back to a previous circumstance and touch base with them with empathy and understanding, and then offer them a solution and not get lost in the emotions of those conversations. Why? Because I've become machine-like in it. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to want you to understand. As we go through this, you're going to have to build up the reps. Just like anything else, it will take some time to build up those reps, but eventually you will become a machine with it, and it becomes very simple for you to close those deals. Next thing is, don't overthink the process, okay? Don't overthink it. I'm going to try to simplify everything I do. I try to simplify it as much as possible. Specifically today, I want to make this the simplest way to talk to a seller that you've ever heard. And once you understand that it can truly be this simple, and I'm going to give you some examples later on, okay, where you can see, hey, it can truly be that simple. Embrace that, live in that, and say, hey, RJ has made this really simple, right? Hey, we get leads from PPL providers. Boom, check. That's lead generation. The King Closer formula. That's how we acquire the deals. We have videos on how to comp. We have videos on how to dispo. That is our business in a nutshell. Okay. So we're trying to simplify this and eliminate all excuses that you have to not succeed. Last thing, before we get into the 5 steps, be prepared to close the deal. Now you're like, well, yeah, of course, RJ. I mean, I'm prepared. I'm ready right now. No. I mean, actually be prepared. When you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to talk to a seller, I want you to have a contract ready to be filled out. I want you to have your electronic signature app open. So we use Dropbox Sign. I have Dropbox Sign open. I have a Google Docs of the contract ready to be filled out. I have my comping software open. I have Google Street View open, Google Maps open. So I'm ready. So I have batch leads, I have Privy, I have PropStream. Those are my comping softwares. I have Investor Lift open. So if it's in the middle of nowhere and I don't know where this location is, I could drop that address or that city in the Investor Lift and see how many cash buyers do I have. I put that address in the Google Street View and I immediately can see, what house am I looking at? What am I potentially looking at buying? And then when I'm ready to close the deal, I can fill out that contract, drop it in my e-signature app, and send it off. I am prepared to close the deal. I want you guys to do that. That's a step that, quite frankly, I see a lot of people make the mistake of. They go into the conversation saying, I'm ready to close this deal, but they're not prepared to close the deal because they're really not a closer, okay? So be prepared to be a closer. All right. Now let's get into this. Last thing, let's have some fun today, okay? Let's have some fun. Step number 1, confirm that the seller wants to sell the property. It's amazing. I see it over and over again. Seller calls, or the buyer calls the seller, says, hey, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. Wow, how was your Memorial Day? Oh, it was good. Hanging out with the family, drank some beers. Oh, that's good. Did you watch the Stars game last night? That was crazy. They fell behind 2-0, blah, blah. They start talking about all this stuff. It's like, where are we going? Where are we going in this conversation? This is where early on we can control the narrative of this conversation. We can control where the conversation is going to go with the questions that we ask early on. Okay. So step number 1, confirm that they want to sell. So I call the seller and I say, seller answers, hello. Hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, it is. Hi, I see that you filled out a form on my website saying that you were looking to sell 123 Main Street. Are you still looking to sell that property? Yes, I am. Boom. You are 20% of the way done with the closer's formula. It's super easy. Now, there's some steps in here where we get, hey, it's going to take us a lot longer. All right. Steps 3 and 4 is where we're going to spend the majority of our time. But again, what are we trying to do today? Simplify this, narrow it down. What do we want to do? We want to find a deal. So what is the first thing we want to do? We want to verify that they want to sell the property. The other thing that's going to happen here from time to time is you're going to call a seller and you're going to say, hey, are you still looking to sell 123 Main Street? And they're going to say, I don't know. I was just curious how much the property would be worth. Now, do we want to spend time talking to someone that just wants to know how much the property is worth? No. I don't go into Walmart and Walmart just want to know how much the toothpaste that I'm thinking about buying is worth. No, they say it's $3. Do you want it or not? It's the same thing here. Do you have a house that you're wanting to sell? Because otherwise, as a buyer, we don't have anything to talk about. So throughout this entire process, I am always embracing no. I am trying to find a reason to say no in the conversation. And you say, well, RJ, here's the thing. I need to close a deal. I need to make money. Okay, well, that I understand. So do we. Every single day. Our goal is to close a deal every single day. So how do we do that? We get through the no's a lot faster than everybody else. So if I'm on the phone with someone and they're saying, I just want to know what my property's worth, I'm going to immediately push back and say, okay, well, do you want to call me back when you decide if you want to sell or not? Because I am interested in buying the property, but I can't just sit here and talk to you about, how much, you think the property might be worth. I can only have a conversation with you if you're wanting to sell the property. Okay. This is a way that you're immediately pulling away. You're creating that posture as the buyer, and you're applying the pressure that, hey, you are either here to sell me on the property or we're not going to have a conversation. So right up front, when you apply that pressure and you say, do you want to sell? It's either yes, and you move on to step 2. If it's not a yes, then you pull away and you embrace no. Okay? Step number 2. How much are you looking to get for the property? Establish price. Everyone in this industry always used the phrase anchor price someone. So what they meant by that is I need this property for $50,000. So I'm going to anchor them at 30 so they feel really good about signing a contract at 50. And I didn't really like the way that felt. That's what gives us as wholesalers a bad reputation as lowballers. And I didn't like being called a lowballer because, quite frankly, that's anti what we say we do, which is solve people's problems. So I want to come in and redefine what the anchor means when we're talking to a seller. The anchor is just the first number that's thrown out. Who is going to throw the anchor in the water? So that's why I want to ask for their asking price very early on. Second question out of my mouth. You looking to sell this property? Yes. Awesome. How much are you looking to get for that property? Okay. The other thing that happens when you do this is more often than not, you're actually going to get a number. And I've seen this. This is one of those moments where people have been coming to us since October and saying, dude, this has completely revolutionized my business, because now when I ask for that asking price early on, I'm getting it. Whereas every other script in the past has told me that I've got to, ask about condition. I've got to ask about timeline. I've got to build rapport. I've got to do all these other things. And then I touch base on price. What has happened? The seller is no longer selling you. You went into the friend zone, and the seller now is comfortable and doesn't give it to you. And they just say, well, I don't know. How much are you willing to offer from it, or offer me for the property? This is why it's so different from everyone else. It differentiates yourself, which, quite frankly, don't you want to be different from the masses? What if this eventually becomes what the masses do? We change the narrative of what we're doing. Let's break this down. the vast majority of real estate deals are sold by realtors on the market. In order for the property to be on the market, what do they have to do? They have to put an asking price. They don't just say, open for offers. No, I'm listing 123 Main Street for sale, and the price is $300,000. For whatever reason, because we're direct to seller and because everyone else came up with all these other ideas that I disagree with, we have not been asking for the price early on. And because of that, there's a massive opportunity for you to embrace this new strategy, this new way to come in and be different from everyone else, and carry yourself in a way that builds confidence with the seller the entire conversation that you are an actual buyer. You are serious about doing this because you're getting right to it. Do you want to sell? Yes. How much you looking to get for it? Then we go into all the details that we would need to, because what are we actually doing? We're determining if we can say yes to that price. Okay? Because we're embracing no. We're looking for all the reasons to say no. What's one of the things that we need to understand? We need to know what that price is. Okay? There are two things that are most critical when it comes to talking to the seller that we need to know. Okay? The two most important factors, price and motivation. So right out of the gates, we want to understand, what is your price? Okay? Because quite frankly, there's no point in understanding any other factors if they're not willing to sell the property. So we always need to know, do you want to sell it? Yes. Okay, boom. Checked. 20% of the way done. Next, how much do you want for it? Price. Boom. 40% of the way home. What's the next most important thing? Motivation. How do we find out motivation? Okay. Well, we could just come out and say, well, what's got you motivated to sell this property? What's got you looking to sell? What I like to do is this is where we move to step 3. Open-ended questions to discover their motivation. The open-ended question that I like to use, and this has actually changed since October. We've actually tweaked it a little bit. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Now, you could say that however you say it. Okay. So, like, for example, we had someone that was from Europe, Portugal, that was doing the closer's formula. And when I listened to him, when he said, tell me a little bit about what you got going on, it sounded like he was trying to be Southern from Texas, like me. But he's not. He's from Portugal. I always want you to sound like you. So as long as it's something along the lines of, tell me a little bit about what you have going on, tell me a little bit, something along those lines where it's very open-ended, where they could take the conversation wherever they feel necessary to take it. We want them to feel like, quite frankly, they don't even know what you just asked. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Here's the reason why we want it that open-ended. They will immediately default to talking about what is the most important thing to them to talk about. Sometimes that's going to be condition. Sometimes it's going to be timeline. Sometimes it's going to be the occupancy or the finances. Whatever it is, they're going to default to that. The reason why that's important is because that is how we discover what their pain and motivation is. Or we're discovering if there is pain and motivation that exists. Now, here's the thing. When you ask them, tell me a little bit about what you got going on, it's so broad, and it's not like we didn't narrow it down to like, hey, this is what I want you to talk about, that they're probably going to give you somewhere in the range of about 30 to 40% of the information that you truly need to know about their pain and motivation. So remember, I said steps 3 and 4 is where you're going to spend the vast majority of your time. Well, we're in step 3 right now. Right? Step 3, discover their motivation. You ask that open-ended question. Now, this is where you are going to have to develop skill sets to become a true closer. Okay? You're going to ask them that. They're going to start answering. You're going to have to start taking actions behind the scenes while actively listening. Now, active listening is truly listening to what they're telling you and not steering the conversation in the wrong direction. This is why this is not a script. This is, you are free flowing right now and you have a direction. You're listening to what do they want to talk about. So you need to narrow it down. Hey, they want to talk about finances. They want to talk about the pain that's involved with the finances on this. Whatever you do, do not change the topic from what they are talking about. This is one of the things I've seen over the past 7 months. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. And the seller starts talking about, it was a rental property. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. The tenants, they weren't paying. I was had to pay the mortgage and the taxes. And it's become such a financial burden for me. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. What did they just tell you? If you were actively listening, they said, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. They gave you so many different routes that you could ask a follow-up question on that. And time again, what I've seen throughout this industry is the response would be, well, tell me a little bit about the condition of the property. What does it look like? Why are we just changing the conversation? You have to follow up with another open-ended question based off of their response. This is why it's a skill set. This is what makes a closer a closer. Your ability to actively listen and say, okay, they said, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. Okay, well, tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean by you just don't want to deal with it anymore? Is it the finance? Is it the money side of things? Like it's just killing you to have to pay that mortgage? Is it the property management side, dealing with the tenants? Like, tell me a little bit about that. Dig deeper into that. Here's what happens when you dig deeper. What did we just ask them? You want to sell? Yes. How much do you want? They gave you a number. Then you said, tell me a little bit about what you got going on. They tell you this pain and motivation. And then you dig a little bit deeper. Time and time again, what we see is whatever number they just gave you, with follow-up questions, they'll start lowering their price down, and because they're going to start thinking about that pain. They're going to think about that motivation. They're going to be like, I mean, just to be honest with you, if I could just get out from underneath this mortgage, I would be happy. What does that do? That leads to another follow-up question. Well, how much do you owe on the mortgage? You told me you want $100,000. Well, I really only owe $80,000 on the mortgage. I was just hoping I could walk away with a little bit. I mean, but really, if you could just pay off the $80,000, and people will watch me do this on the live. Hopefully, you're about to watch me do it here in just a second when I call some sellers. And it's crazy to see the comments in the chat where people are like, "Oh man, RJ's such a great closer." No, I'm a great listener. I'm actually listening to the pain that they're divulging to me. I don't care about the condition in the timeline and all of that. We'll get to that. Trust me. The age of the roof and the HVAC and the floors and the kitchen and the bathrooms and the paint and all that, that shit ain't going to change. Okay? You can get that later on. But when they want to talk about that pain and that motivation, that's a moment that you have to embrace that moment right there, because no one else is going to take the time to do that. And when I say no one else, I'm being serious. I mean, I'm literally going through all of YouTube trying to find closers videos, people that have posted videos. And I'm just like, dude, we suck as an industry at listening. We suck at being able to sit there and hear the actual problem that people are facing, because we are so obsessed with wanting to talk about condition, timeline, all this other stuff. I get it. The 4 pillars, we've been talking about it for years, decades. But the facts are the 2 most important things, price and motivation. Let's talk about those, because everything else, guess what? The price, how do we find out if the price is good? We comp it, we determine an ARV, then we understand what our rehab needs to be, and then we set our MAO, and then we make our offer, right? It's a very simple formula, okay? That's math. We'll get there later on down the road. That stuff's simplistic. Being able to actually listen to someone and be a solution for them. This is what the seller is seeking. They are seeking someone to buy their real estate and be a solution. That's what makes you a great closer. So when you're in this step, actively listening, asking these follow-up questions. Now, I said you're going to be taking actions on the backside. Well, that's step 4. So see, the thing is, step 3 and step 4, they happen simultaneous. Okay, so step 3, discover their motivation, open-ended question, active listening, ask follow-up, open-ended questions. What are we doing on the backside? We are revisiting, or actually we're analyzing the deal, and we're comping the property. So how do you analyze the deal? The first thing is you're going to take that address, you're going to drop it into Google Street View. This is the first thing that you want to do. You want to look around the neighborhood, and you want to make sure this is a property that you actually want to get under contract, okay? So like certain things that are immediate deal killers and that immediately make you want to say no to the deal, being on a busy road, being across from commercial, having something crazy across the street, like an airplane field, a jail. There's crazy things that we have seen that have come across our plate where it's like that significantly impacts the value of that property. So you want to look around and make sure, hey, there's nothing crazy going on. This is a property that I'm willing to close on. The next thing you do is you put that in your comping software and you start looking for a rough number of the after repair value. Okay. Now here's the reason why you want to understand a rough number. You don't need to know the after repair value. Okay. What you want to do is you want to drop that into your comping software and you want to see. Well, the vast majority of the houses that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, just like my property, selling for $200,000, $300,000. What is the number? Okay. Okay. So the majority of them are selling for $200,000. All right. So we got a number out of them. We asked them, how much do you want for the property? They told us $100,000. We pull it up and we see $200,000. We're cooking. We got somewhere. Okay. What we want to do right now in this step is this is where we want to place the seller in one of the 4 seller buckets. Okay. This is where the seller buckets comes in between step 3 and step 4. The seller buckets. And I do this inside of Titanium University when I'm doing live seller call reviews where people inside of our community, they record themselves talking to sellers, they submit it to me, and then I will listen to it and I'll coach them through it. This is one of the moments where I will pause the video and I will ask them, what bucket are you placing this seller in? This is very important because this determines the path that you are going to take for the remainder of the conversation. Okay. So the 4 seller buckets. Okay. 1, right price, no motivation. The rarest bucket of them all. Okay. It's very unlikely that you're going to have this. The reason why we don't like this bucket is because this is where people that don't have the rights to sell the property, scam artists and stuff like that exists. I'll sell it to you for $50,000. Okay, well, what's got you looking to sell? And then they can't really explain to you like any pain or motivation on why they would want to sell the property for $50,000. Let me explain something to you. Everybody knows how to look up the property on Zillow. Okay. They can pretty much look to see like they own a $200,000 property. So if there's not pain and motivation that's following a great price tag, that's a red flag. You should run for the hills. Okay. The other bad bucket, wrong price, no motivation. This is the people that should sell their properties with realtors for full retail. We are not their solution. Realtors are selling it on the MLS. That is their solution. Okay. So those are the two bad buckets. Two good buckets. The dream scenario bucket. Great price, tons of motivation. These are the laydowns. These are the ones that take 7, 8, 9 minutes. People are like, RJ's a great order taker. Damn straight. I am the best order taker in this industry. Okay. I call you and I say, why are you looking to sell? And you tell me a ton of motivation and you've given me a great price. We aren't negotiating. We aren't doing anything. I'm sending a contract. I'm getting it under contract. Okay. The last bucket and the most common bucket that you are going to exist in, high motivation, wrong price. Okay. These are the people that have a terrible scenario as to why they want to sell their property, but they've looked it up on Zillow and they think they can get full retail, but they can't. Property is distressed. There's something going on that we need to come in. We need to be their solution, but they don't understand that their motivation is not matching our price. Okay. So we're asking them open-ended questions about their pain and motivation to determine what bucket we're putting them in. Once you have placed them in one of those 4 buckets, it then determines one of 4 paths that we're going to take for the remainder of the conversation. Okay. The bucket of wrong price, no motivation, embrace no. I'm an investor. This is not a good fit for me. Okay. Sounds like you've got a beautiful home, not really a ton of motivation to sell that property. I think a realtor is the best solution for you. Best of luck with selling your property. Move on. Okay. That's that path. That's easy. The rare bucket where it's like, hey, great price, no motivation. You just got to dig deeper. And at some point in time, you just got to hit them with, hey, it sounds too good to be true. You're in a $200,000 neighborhood and you want to sell your house for $50,000. You don't have a reason to sell it for $50,000. This just sounds too good to be true. What's going on? Okay. Real, raw, authentic, just cut to the chase. It's going to be very rare for that to happen anyways. Okay. Scenario where it's great price, tons of motivation. You're going to move forward with closing. Close that deal. We'll get to how to close the deal in a second. Okay. The scenario where price is wrong, highly motivated. We have to educate. Okay. This is where you as an industry expert have to come in and you have to educate the seller on why those numbers don't work. This is why we use the profit calculator. Okay. So we have our profit calculator open. Inside of that profit calculator, we will drop the after repair value. It has minus the closing costs, minus the holding costs, minus the rehab, minus our profit. And then it shows us what our offer would be. Okay. So we punch that in and we determine what our offer needs to be. And it's way off. We are then going to start educating the seller by saying, okay, what I see here is that you're in a $200,000 neighborhood and you want $200,000 for your property. The problem is your property hasn't been rehabbed in a long time. And I know you just inherited this property. Here's the thing. If I were to come in and I were to buy this property, I'm going to have to put $40,000 to $50,000 worth of work into it. I'm going to have closing costs. I'm going to have holding costs. Tell them how much that equals, right? So we have 5% and 7% for that, 7% for the closing, 5% for holding. We explain that to them. And then, hey, I'm a for-profit organization, so I want to make profit on this. It's going to be, I'm trying to make somewhere around 15% profit on this, whatever that profit percent is. So in order for me to get this deal, I need it somewhere around 80,000. That's the math. And break that down to them and explain them how you're coming up. You're not lowballing them, okay? That is a very fair and generous offer that you're making to buy their distressed property. And what's going to happen is they're going to understand that and be willing to continue having that conversation, or they're going to pull away. And what you're going to realize is that no matter what, their pain and motivation is not going to match the price that you need. So we move on. Go to the next one. Now, there's times where inside of educating the seller, we have to stay there for quite a while. There might be disagreements on how much the repairs will cost, or the holding and closing costs, or maybe even the profit. I'll be honest with you. Out of all the numbers, profit is the one that is most rarely discussed, though. Most homeowners completely understand that we are for profit and that they have no problem with that whatsoever. It's mainly going to be around the rehab. That's good, or the after repair value. Maybe they'll disagree and say, no, I think the property could be worth more. So again, then you have to go into educating them on how you're coming up with that number. Okay. This is the most important bucket for you to understand, and it's going to take some time for you to get used to it. What I've seen the majority of people want to do during steps 3 and 4 is just blow right through it. Hey, you looking to sell that property? Yep. How much you looking to get for it? $100,000. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Well, it was tenant occupied and now it's vacant and I just want to sell it. Oh, okay. Well, sounds like your price is a little bit high for me. Here's the reason why. I've got to do this much rehab, blah, blah, blah. Nope, that's not going to work for me. Okay, see you later. It's like, that's not what I'm telling you guys to do. Okay, that's not embracing. No, that's just giving up. Okay, when you go into this conversation, the education of it needs to be in depth. And if they don't understand it, you need to ask that. Continue to ask questions. Why is that not going to work for you? Maybe there's a better solution that we could offer them. Okay. Throughout this whole process, it is about sitting back, relaxing, asking questions to understand the situation. So during step 3, when you're asking those open-ended questions and trying to understand their pain and motivation, the reason why is because if they end up in that most common bucket of the price is wrong, or the price is wrong and they're highly motivated, you have to revisit that pain and motivation to get the price to come down. This is how you get someone to move for the price that they originally gave you to the price that you actually need. It's not playing games. Say, no, you're actually truly just trying to understand where they're coming from. And then what do we have to do? We have to truly explain to them where we're coming from. Does that make sense? All right. Step 5, close the deal. All right. So I wouldn't say never. I highly underestimated how people would struggle with closing the deal. I thought this would be like very simple and people would just kind of adapt to this and understand this. But that has not been the case. I have seen it time and time again where this is where people really struggle, where it's like, okay, now it's time. They don't know what to say or anything like that. First thing, even on Price is Right, highly motivated bucket, you can't just go, all right, what's your email? Because the seller then is going to be concerned about, that was too easy. Okay. And you haven't really explained what the process is going to be moving forward. So before we try to get them to sign a contract, we want to build credibility with them. So the first thing that we want to do is even in whatever scenario, we want to say, all right, well, let me explain how this process will work if we're going to come to an agreement on price today. I'm going to send you over a simple 2-page agreement saying that you're going to sell me the property for whatever price that we agree to and whatever timeline we agree on. Once we've signed that contract, we're going to come out to the property. We're going to take a look, do our inspection. And if everything that you told me today is true, then we'll be good to move forward at your price and on your timeline. But if something is not what you said it was today, then we will have to revisit the price and the timeline. So that's our setting up a second follow-up conversation post-inspection. That's where, hey, if we need to renegotiate, if there's something that comes up, we're at least setting that expectation for that conversation to take place. The other thing that's going to take place here is that the seller is going to now fully understand on what's going to happen. Okay. They're now going to know, okay, you're going to send me a contract. I'm going to sign it. You guys are going to come out. You're going to walk the property. You're going to do your inspection. We're going to have a follow-up call. All of that's going to take place. Yes. And in the meantime, we're going to have title open. We're going to get a title commitment back. And then as soon as we check all those boxes off, then we'll be ready to close on your timeline. Now, once you've done that, and you've explained that, this is where you're going to ask the kill shot question. So with all of that being said, if I were to buy the house cash as is, there's no closing costs because I'm going to cover those, and there's no realtor commissions because we ain't got any of those. What's the best price that you could do for me? Typically, that gives us somewhere between a 10 to 20% price drop. Now, what I've seen is, dude, I've seen that get 10% price drops where, quite frankly, it did not deserve a 10% price drop. Okay. But because you're building value in the question, the seller almost feels like obligated to give you some sort of price reduction. It's kind of crazy. I never really thought it was that powerful of a question until someone else watching me close the deal was like, dude, you know, every time you do that, you get like 10%. And I was like, I did not realize that. And I was like, wait, are other people not asking that question? And they're not. It's really not asked that often. Here's the other thing that it does for you that is completely underestimated in the closer's formula. We do not want to make an offer. That is like the last resort in the closer's formula. The ideal scenario is, do you want to sell? How much do you want? 100,000. Tell me what you got going on. The 100,000 inside of the open-ended questions and building rapport and all that becomes 90. You build the credibility, and then you say, tell me a little bit, or what's the best price you could do for me? And they say, I could do 80,000. And we say yes to the 80,000, and we never even made an offer through the whole process. I really want you guys to eliminate the word and the language of I'm calling to make an offer, or I want to make an offer from you, from your calls altogether. I don't think I ever say it. If I do, it's because the call is not going well. It's like, it's not an ideal scenario. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I want to happen. It's that I want to say yes to their price. And guess what happens when you say yes to their price? A higher percentage of your contracts that you send get signed than you making an offer. So if you go into a call and you say, hi, my name's RJ, and I was calling about 123 Main Street. I'd like to make an offer on that property today. There's a higher likelihood that that contract is not going to get signed than me calling and saying, tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Okay, what's the best price you could do for me? Yep, I could do 80,000. And then I send the contract. So I ask them that. I get that price. They give me the number that I want. I say yes to it. Then I'm going to ask them, okay, are you available to check your email? Because I'm about to send you a contract right now for the 80,000. If they are, we send that contract right then and there. We walk them through the contract. Just start reading it. Okay, if you see here, there's the address. You're the seller. I'm the buyer. There's the price we agreed on. We're going to close in 30 days at this title company. And then eventually they're just going to say, okay, I signed it. Every now and then they'll make you read the whole thing. More often than not, they're going to cut you off. Just say, okay, I signed it. And then it's over. And then you set the expectation. Okay, I'm going to get this sent off to the title company, get title pulled, and then we'll be contacting you tomorrow to start scheduling when we're going to come out and take pictures. This is the person that's going to be calling you. In my case, It's never me. It's always going to be the dispositions person. So the dispo person takes over from that point on, and they don't ever hear from me again. That's because I don't really, the only time I really ever talk to sellers is on these lives. So that is the closer's formula right there. Verify that they want to sell, get their asking price, discover their motivation with open-ended questions, analyze the property and comp the property, determine between 3 and 4 what seller bucket they're in, and then 5, close the deal. All right. Now, let's go over. Well, actually, I'll answer Alan's question here. Can you go over your SOP real quick if they do not want to sign right then for whatever reason? So it's very simple. First, the closer's formula is going to eliminate the majority of that because of the nature of how we're going through it. Now, for whatever reason, if they don't want to sell right then and there, what you're going to ask them is why and when will you be able to sign? And then you're going to say, okay, so you'll be able to sign tomorrow. Okay, so and then you're going to explain to them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this contract is valid through tomorrow's date. So if you don't sign by tomorrow, the contract is null and void. Okay, so what you're doing there is you're applying that pressure. Now, if they say I could sign by the end of the week and it's Monday, you need to ask, why do you need that long? I thought I misunderstood what just happened in this conversation. You said you want 80,000. I said yes, and now you're saying you want to take 5 days. You need to dig deep. This is where, again, asking great questions can really get you the true answer that you're looking for. Because if they're going to leverage that to get another offer, then you just stop like, hey, listen, I don't. Okay, you got someone else you want to talk to or something like that. I'm not the right buyer for you. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. And just embrace no and walk away from it. We always go ahead and we send it then. But again, just follow that kind of pushing back and really making sure that you're applying that pressure there. Okay. So some core philosophies that I went over real quick. Want to make sure you guys take notes of these. Okay. 1, embrace no. Even with the best KPIs that I can pump out, better than I think anybody else can do, if it's 1 out of every 7 leads, okay, that means there's still 6 no's that take place before we get a signed contract. So be the one saying no. You say no 6 times. Don't have sellers tell you no 6 times. You're the buyer. Embrace that, okay? Philosophy number 2, you're the buyer. We're not selling anything. Take that, have that radical mindset shift going into the calls where they have a problem and we are offering that solution. Carry that posture throughout the entire conversation. You're a deal finder, not a deal manufacturer, okay? Majority of the time, closers waste so much time trying to manufacture a deal. People are blown away by the amount of leads that I just throw in the trash because they're worried about, but RJ, you spent $100 on that. RJ, you spent $60 on that. Doesn't matter. It's one of the 6 that I'm throwing away. So I can get to more ones. Let me get to the ones, okay? Those are the ones that are most important. I don't worry about the ones that I throw away. Throughout the call, utilize awkward silence. Awkward silence should always be followed this way. You ask an open-ended question. The seller answers. Before you say something, make sure you ask the right question. Don't just ask any question. It's better to sit in silence than to ask the wrong question. So you ask a question, they answer. If you don't know what to say yet, sit there and wait. Here's the other powerful thing about sitting in awkward silence. It allows them, the seller, to have time to think themselves. they didn't know what question you were about to ask. So you ask a question, they give you an answer. Maybe they didn't give you the full answer that they need to give you. So if you sit in just a little bit of silence, there's a chance that before you can even say anything, they will start talking again. Utilize awkward silence, but only utilize silence following them talking. You ask a question, they answer, sit in silence, then you ask a question. Okay? Try to always make your questions as open-ended as possible. I understand there's times where we have to ask about the condition and the stuff, okay? But more often than not, it's more powerful to ask an open-ended question than a closed-ended question. If you find yourself in the position in the phone call where you are rapid-fire asking closed-ended questions, it better be to buy yourself some time, not because you just don't know what to say. Because now you've got yourself in a real bad spot. And you've got to find an open-ended question so you can shut up. Because if you keep asking close-ended question after close-ended question after close-ended question, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're just going to give you those one-word answers. How old's the roof? 5 years old. How old's the HVAC? 2 years old. When was the last time you remodeled the kitchen? A year ago. It's like, dude, you've got to keep coming up with questions, okay? Broad, open-ended questions buy yourself time and the ability to not talk. You don't want to be talking, okay? Closers that talk suck. All right. Last thing is make sure you understand the seller's motivation. If you're getting a contract signed and you actually don't understand their motivation, you did a bad job. All right? Now, let's open this up for some questions while I get rid of all my little fancy stuff so I didn't mess up. And I get prepared. Who wants to see me talk to some sellers and use this? It's been a while since I talked to some sellers live. What? Probably been a month. Let's do this. When is Titanium University opening back up? We are going to be opening up probably early July. It'll probably open up before then. But that's when like the fourth class will actually probably be like getting started. We have a giveaway for the best comments. Whoever you think is best engager on today's live. So whoever's the best, is it just one? It's mine. I guess I can answer that. I can give it away to as many people. So yeah, we'll definitely, I'll make sure to take notes of that. If the seller's motivated but wrong price, is there an SOP for follow-up? I'll be honest with you, I'm not big on follow-ups. The goal of the call is to get a yes or a no. If you're following up, then someone else is going to eat that. How much is Titanium University? Last class was $5,700. Lifetime membership. It'll probably be more. The price keeps going up. So, oh man, that thing smells good. Let me smell that when I close this deal in about 5 seconds. Price is going to keep going up. It's too damn valuable. You guys should have seen how many deals were closed in there. I think Danielle said this morning, I asked her how many deals she got in the 30-day challenge. She said she got 15 deals, and she invested $2,000 in leads to get those 15 contracts. Her previous experience was signing up for a program. Very well-known person in the industry. Couldn't teach her how to get one deal. $5,700, dirt cheap. All right. Let's close the deal. Enough talky talk. More action. New leads. See what I got. What I'm working with over here. It's been a minute since I looked in here. Hello? Hello? That was weird. Like they answered, but they didn't.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
And keep track of my KPIs. But this is going to be a banger. So I want to keep track. That's 2 dials. Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Solid voicemail there, Chelsea. All right. Let's go. Boom, boom. Was like a fake number I just dialed.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is.
All right. 4 no answers. Hey, is Ryan there? Hey, Ryan, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property there on 11th Avenue. Looked like you had entered it on my website a while back. You still looking to sell that property? You don't. What's the right price?
What is it still?
I don't know. You'd entered out a form on my website saying that you were looking to sell that property. You remember doing that?
you?
No, I'm a real estate investor.
See?
So you saw an ad on like YouTube. You fill out a form saying you're looking to sell that.
Right. I didn't know if it was somebody got a hold of me and shot me an offer, or I didn't really know what the hell I was looking at here.
Well, so if I say I did just, shoot you a number, what was going to be the process there? You were going to think about it, or you do want to sell the number, like, because I don't want to just make you an offer of like you're not interested in selling the property. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Where are you out of?
I'm out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I don't know what to say here.
Well, let's start with step one. Do you want to sell?
I would sell my house, yes.
All right. How much?
That's where you get me, because I don't know. I don't know what the market is or whatever. I don't know. Give me a week and call me back.
All right, Ryan. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. So 4 no answers. 1 embrace no. What's hilarious about that is that's the perfect example of why we should ask if they want to sell. He's like, I don't know. How much do you want for it? I don't know. Damn, Ryan. What's hilarious about that is this is how I don't talk to sellers. I completely fucked that up right from the beginning. Not on the phone. You guys would have never known. Somehow I double clicked on the address, which then highlighted it all. And then when I was like, oh, well, why did I do that? Then somehow accidentally right clicked and hit paste. And so I completely deleted his address. What I was trying to do was copy the address so that I could take it. When I say become a machine, it's in everything that you do. My machine-like habits are gone. I need to do another 50-day challenge. So now his address is a Google Drive folder. Oh, man. The good news is he's definitely not going to do anything with us. That is deadly. All right. Let's try again. Let's find someone that actually wants to sell. He's like, I don't know. What is this? What is this? You filled out a form saying you want to sell your house. That's what it is. The audio sucked on my side.
Leave your message for 5.
Is that better?
2982885.
Because just so y'all know, the audio sucked for me too. Yeah. What's up, Eric?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to keep track of those. 6 no answers.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Damn it. Yeah, I normally leave voicemails. I'm just trying to get through this quickly for you guys.
Please leave your message for 2.
You guys are gonna die when y'all see my video for old Trangalang today. Hi, is Martin there? Hey, Martin, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there in Aztec. Looked like you filled out a form saying you want to sell that property. You still looking to sell?
Well, yeah, but I can't get what I want for it. I've tried with 3 or 4 other brokers.
Oh, I'm not a broker. I'm a buyer. How much you looking to get for it?
Well, if I clear, I got to pay off the mortgage. If I clear 410, I'd probably do it.
So 410 total?
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, it may or may not need some floor work because of the slab.
What's going on with the slab?
I've got minor heaving. And it turns out my neighbors probably do too. And it's probably just the soil on this area out here. But it's so beautiful. I don't have any serious cracks or anything.
Gotcha. Have you had a foundation company look at it?
Yeah, Ramjack, they came, they did an initial thing. They showed me a little graph that they brought in a manometer and their thingy that laser and all of that. And he graphed me back my floor plan and showed me where it was heaving and not. And I think the growth might be like an inch upward. And so I had to do and I've got all the receipts. A whole bunch of work to remediate any possibility of groundwater. I put in thousands of dollars of French drain and gutters with underground tubing to get it away from the foundation. And I've done quite a bit of work. I made sure the plumbing was up and running and correct. I found a leak, and I had to hire some pretty expensive guys to find it for me, but they found it and I repaired it. So it may go away, is all I'm saying.
Gotcha. How'd you come up with 410?
Well, I had a local realtor that, excuse me, I'm just thinking ahead. That came up with he wants me to list with him, and he came up with his own version of an appraisal. And he knows about my situation with the floor, and he says just lift it at 580 and go from there. So I owe $243 on my mortgage, and I owe about $39,000 on my pool somewhere in there, so I've got to pay that off with the cash you give me. And so if I walk away with that much cash, I can turn around and pay off my mortgage and my
Gotcha. Okay, so what is the price that you're wanting to sell it to me for? 410? Or or 410 plus your mortgage?
Well, I'd like to say plus my mortgage, but you're not going to. What I need to do is walk away with at least, after my bills, at least $225,000 cash.
Okay.
So I owe 243 or 234 on my house. And I also owe about 35 to 39,000, maybe a little more on my pool. And so those have to be paid off because they're attached, of course, to the property. So that was being paid off. When I walk away with 225,000 cash, you got a deal, and you got a really good deal.
You said that realtor wants to list it for 5 something?
580.
Where are they coming up with that? I'm not seeing anything that sold 500 something. I mean, if I could find that, I'd be like,
Yeah, look at Farmington.
why, yeah, but I mean, that's way far away, you know?
Farmington, this is one big gigantic connection.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying within 1 mile of your property, I've got 6 comps, you know? I mean, I can't go all the way to another city.
They don't have pools or big shops.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, based off of what I'm seeing, I mean, I think your property could sell in the mid 4s on the market. I don't know where they're getting the 500 number, you know? I mean, that seems crazy.
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
Because I've got it pulled up on 2 different systems, and I mean, yeah, I think mid 4s would probably be where it would sell if you list it on the MLS. But yeah, I mean, from an investment standpoint, I mean, it sounds like, you know, one, I don't like foundation problems. That's always a scare factor, you know. And then 2, you know, you need to walk away with a certain amount. I don't know if we're the best solution for you. You know, I think that listing with a realtor is probably going to be your best solution.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
So I mean, I will tell you, I would be very leery if I were you on listing with that realtor that says 580.
Yeah.
I want someone that shows me, you know, within a couple of miles, because you have comps within a mile of you.
Yeah, but this isn't like, sparse country out around the country.
Yeah.
So these are ranches, and this is a housing development out here. It's been in the last 10 years, 12 years. But yeah, you're not going to find a lot of homes. I mean, there's lots of land for sale, and you can start your own home out here fairly easily too.
Yeah. Best piece of advice I would give you is maybe hire an appraiser to come out and appraise the property, and then you know the value, you know? Yeah.
I got you.
All right, man. Well, best of luck with that, and hopefully it moves for you soon. Okay, Martin? Bye-bye. All right. So I saw someone put it in a bucket. Sounds like wrong price, good motivation. I put that in no motivation, wrong price. The motivation, what was the motivation? He wants to sell, but he has to get a certain amount. So that motivation is never going to match our price. Because essentially he needs that 410 to do whatever he needs. He needs $225,000 cash probably to buy his next property. Can't really do a whole lot there. All right. So what is that? 7 no answers, 2 embrace no. So we're at 9 dials. No, yeah, 9 dials. All right, let's go next one. think the majority of these have been lead Zolo so far.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
I did, Nick. There's a deal that sold for $437 with a pool within a half mile.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
Oh, I want to talk to that person. I hope they have that accent. Oh, Idaho. Dude, I want this one. I've only done one deal in Idaho ever. Come on, Kelly. No, that was in New Mexico. She's licensed in Texas.
Hello, you've reached Kelly. Leave a message, please. Thank you.
All right. Let's get us back down here. That is not a number. Try again. No, we had to terminate that one. Couldn't move it.
Your call has been forwarded to an auto.
That guy was super awesome too. We had a creative buyer that wanted to do something, and the seller came all the way around, said he was willing to do it. We were going to dispo it. And then the buyer came back and said, "No, never mind. I don't want to do it." He was worried about the HOA. The one that we moved with the snowmobile, I closed on a Tuesday live, like black and gold thumbnail.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person.
Come on, baby. Somebody answer.
Water Solutions, how may I help you?
Hi, is Jennifer there?
Yes.
Hey, Jennifer, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property on West Long Street. You had filled out a form on my website saying that you're looking to sell that property. You still looking to sell?
Yeah, no, I actually have a realtor selling that apartment.
Oh, okay. So it's listed on the MLS?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just saw that you had filled out a form on my website about a week ago. So I was just giving you a call. How much did you end up listing that for?
It's listed for $199 currently.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll check it out and see
Okay.
what it looks like there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay.
Nope. $13 no answers. Although I am going through older leads. Not 1 in 10.
To disconnect, press 1. The mailbox belonging to.
But just because they're not answers today, doesn't mean they're not answers. You got to follow up with these. Oh, I already called that one. That one. Yes.
Your call has been forwarded.
We did deals off the MLS. So that's what we were taught to do. We didn't know any better.
You've reached 2074.
All right. 15 no answers, 2 embrace no, 1 listed. So 18 dials.
and leave a message.
It was funny during our implementation call this morning. I said that, hey, is Dana there? Hey, Dana, this is RJ Bates. I'm calling about your property on Torrey Road. You had entered it on my site saying that you're looking to sell that property. You still looking to sell it?
Yeah, well, I was interested in it, yeah.
Awesome. How much you looking to get for it?
I'm not really sure. What were you thinking?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know anything about the property besides what was entered on my website, so I don't know much about it.
So, like, this is a situation. Like, it basically was somebody before me turned it into like a grow house.
Nice.
And yeah, so I mean, there's like no issues with it, but it's just a matter of, there's spray foam insulation and every nook and cranny you can think of in the house.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what that entails or whatever, but I mean, it is well insulated as well. With the pole barn, there's a detached pole barn with it at 2 stories. That has the spray foam situation with it too, but it was separated into 2 or 3 rooms.
Okay. So when you say like, what is it? Just like seeping out of the drywall?
No. It's just on there. Is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the spray foam is sprayed on all of the main frame wall.
Oh. So like it needs like a lot of rehab?
No. Something that was like, make people like to hear from it or whatnot because it's underneath the drywall and everything. That's the only insulation there is.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of a unique situation. I mean, I bought a lot of houses. I've never had someone bring that up though. So
Yeah, well, it's got a filtration system or water filtration system that's ran through the whole house. In the ceiling is what I'm saying. Like, and the garage is closed off because it was made into another room, like a living space.
uh-huh.
So the only garage you have is the pole barn.
Gotcha. All right. So how much were you wanting for it?
I would say lowest I would do is probably 180.
180. All right. What's got you looking to sell?
I'm just ready to move. I broke into my pole barn and I just ever since I just don't feel comfortable there. So
Yeah, I got you. I had funny enough, I had a kid. I found out it was a kid. Like try to kick in my front door like a year ago. And I thought someone was trying to break into my house. And I immediately was like, I'm done selling it, burn it down. I never want to be here ever again. Like I literally felt so invaded. It was not even funny,
100%. That's how I feel. And it's like, I don't even want to freaking turn lights on at night. I have to have almost every light on in my house. It's just my power bill through the roof.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So 180. Didn't you buy it like for more than that? Or no, you bought it for less? What'd you buy it for? Like one?
Closing on it, it was only I could have spent 158 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that, you know what I mean? But then it's like now I'm not even gonna try. I know it's worth 280.
All right. Walk me through it. Walk me through it. How's it worth 280?
Okay. Well, the house is a 3-bedroom.
Uh-huh.
As you walk in the front door, there's the foyer, and then it has the open sliding door that goes to the patio. That is a 6x20 patio out back. That's cement, but it's still there. But then when you walk in the front door, if you head to the right, there's a closet, like a 2-door closet, and then right past that is the family room. The family room is about, I don't know, 9 by nugget 15 maybe.
Okay.
And then from there to the left of the living room, there is a bedroom. And then there is a full bath right next to that. And then you head further, like past, or not further past that, I'm sorry, excuse me. Straight out of the bedroom, you would head into the kitchen. And then from the kitchen to the left is a mud room, and then a back door to the patio again. To the right is the main kitchen space, and then there's a dining room to the right of that. And then if you head the other way, when you walk in this way, you could either go up, which is upstairs. There's 2 bedrooms and a full bath. And they have walk-in, one has a walk-in closet, and the other one is just a extended out, I don't know, I'd say like a 5x4 closet, 6x4, something like that. And then if you were to head down to the basement, there is a laundry room, there's a basement area, then a cellar area, but it's all redone. And then if you walk further past that is where the garage is, but there's like a mud room right there in between. And then there's the 2-car garage that's made into a bedroom itself.
Okay. So I appreciate all of that, but how is it worth 280? How did you come up with that number?
That was just a re-revenue, like it's a Zillow.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it says it's 2189 square feet. Is that all the livable square footage, including the basement, or is that upstairs and then the basement is extra?
I believe the basement's extra.
Okay. Give me a second here. Let me know if y'all can hear. I can hear it fine. The microphone's right by it. All right. Because it looks like your house is like super big compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Like, is your house like the big man on the block?
No, not really. Yeah, maybe, I guess. They did, that was an add-on that got added onto the house, like the second, or the first half that I explained is the add-on that previous owners did.
So if I'm looking at it on Google Street View, what's the add-on? Is it that part on top? Or
no,
is it in the back?
Right.
The part in the right. Okay. And then they closed in that garage?
Yes.
I see. Do you like that?
But I didn't at first because I don't have a garage space, but then after I literally had to scrape them off of the doors to the pole barn to get the door to open. Thankfully, they left the tracks in there, so I can now get the door open. But, and it's all accessible. We took out one of the rooms because there was 4 rooms separated in the pole barn, but we've dropped it down to 2.
Right.
Sorry, I would have more detailed information with you, but I'm not at home right now, so.
I gotcha. Did you buy this on a quick claim deed?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
What?
You don't normally see that with like owner occupants. That's more like and at that price point. It's just kind of unique.
I came across it like on a whim, and it was like kind of like I need to jump on this. You know what I mean? So.
Gotcha. So the problem is I'm not seeing anything that gets me to that 280. The highest I'm seeing is there's a property around the corner that sold for 250. But it's set on the market for a while, and I'm trying to figure out why it sold for as much as it did. But even if I was at 250, I mean,
Wait, what do you mean? It's on the market right now?
no. It sat on the market for 135 days
I
before. So
understand.
yeah, it was on West Maple Avenue. It was like 2,000 square feet. I'm trying to see if it has like just a shit ton of land or something. So I don't know. Yeah, it had 2.37 acres. That's probably part of it. Because you just have a normal sized lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything just glaringly obvious that would need to be fixed on the property?
I'm trying to think. There is like, I don't know what the heck's going on with it. I have a guy coming out tomorrow. It's the only issue I'm having is the sewage problem because of there's a clog or something from the downstairs bathroom.
Okay. But like you're gonna get that fixed. But I mean like cosmetically, is there anything like just straight up ugly about the house?
I mean, in the back there's it's not nothing really, but there's like something on the what is it called? Like from the roof to the overhangs, like there's a hole in right there in one of the baseboards or whatever.
Okay. If I say I'm gonna do less than 180, are you gonna hang up on me?
No.
All right. Let's see what I can do. How fast are you wanting to close?
I mean, it depends, I guess. Like whatever. I don't really know. I mean, I don't have anywhere lined up right now, but I mean, I could probably find something. So.
So when you bought this was listed on the MLS, right?
Yeah.
Why wasn't it listed for more?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what was weird to me, and I was like, that's why I jumped on it so quick.
Because yeah, you bought it like 5 days after it was listed.
Yeah. Like I said, it was like kind of like I was kind of confused as to what the price was. So that's why I was like, I'm just gonna jump on this and see what I basically am up against, and I thought it would be something bad, but it hasn't. Nothing bad's happened besides the whole incident with the pole barn. But
why did they tell you had to buy it on a quitclaim deed?
because it was the person that owned it before, I guess, like they went to jail. Because when I got this house, it was still full of like weed plants, but they were all molded over.
So you couldn't smoke any?
No.
That sucks.
Yeah, no, it literally sat there like it was like you touched it and like these big buds, like I swear they were like the size of my hand. But like, and I'm 5'9", some taller girl, but like yeah, they would just crumble.
That's crazy.
There was over 80 plants just standing there.
So when you bought the house, like when you walked in, those plants were just left for you.
Right.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand why the price was for the price. They were like, you're inheriting this. You're gonna get rid of all this.
Basically, and I'm still taking out like the pots of dirt from the pole barn. Like as of today, I was still working on it. Like I've just been doing it, me and my two friends, but it's just like holy crap.
But if I bought it from you, then there's not going to be like any like obvious, oh, this was a grow house.
No, not at all.
Okay. Because you bought this in 23, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, bear with me. I'm doing some math real quick.
No, you're fine.
Man. And you own it free and clear, right? No mortgage or anything?
No mortgage.
But you want the cash to go buy another property, right?
Correct.
You're like in that price point that's like super weird for me because it's like could be a deal. I could do something with it, but it's also kind of scary because I'm assuming the only way this like really works for me is if like
Mm-hmm.
I hardly spend any money rehabbing the house at all.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I understand that completely.
So it's like when you say there's nothing overly ugly, I mean, if you were to list this on the MLS and try to get as much money as you possibly could, how much would you anticipate I would need to put into it?
I'm going to say at least 15.
That's literally the number. That's literally the number I have punched in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, there we go. Yeah, but I wouldn't think it would be anything over that.
Okay.
Because, like I said, there's like all that filtration system in there. It's a new heater that's in there. Then there's also a wood stove, and then there's there in the back and like out of the pole barn. There's actually 3 AC or central air units back there. There's this, yeah. It's basically the way I'm describing it is exactly how it is.
Yeah. I mean, for me to make 15% profit, which is about where like I need to be, then I need to be at like 150.
Okay. Can I think about this? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pressure you at all. I mean, you know, I know it kind of sucks because that's pretty much like you recouping 95% of your money. But
right, yeah. But still at the same time, I didn't really have to put too much into it either. So, I mean, it's just been labor. You know what I mean? Like, basically,
right.
It's just been that tedious. So, yeah, let me think about it. Then I could probably, can I get back to you probably next week?
Yeah, you want me to just give you a call like next Monday?
Yeah, no, that works perfectly.
Okay, yeah, just think about it. And like I said, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. That's got me putting 15,000 into it and about 15% profit. So that's about as bare minimum as I could get right there.
Okay. All right. Well, I will think about this, and yeah, please give me a call back on Monday.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was a pretty good example right there of highly motivated, price was wrong. So she said 280. She thought the house could be worth 280. That's where I decided to kind of hammer home. Like, you tell me, how do I get to 280? And she couldn't. Eventually, it just came out that was on Zillow, which is maybe something that Zillow said in the past. Zillow now says 207. So it's definitely not what it says now, but I do have the comp at 250, a little bit smaller house, but more land. But really there's nothing else really comparable in size outside of that one. So what I did is I put the ARV at 240. I'll show you guys right here. So here are the numbers that I had on that. So I had the ARV at 240, 15,000 in repairs, contract price to her 150, us making a $10,000 wholesale fee, putting it at the profit percent at 15%. So again, very transparent, honest conversation with her about where we need to be, how the numbers got to where they are. That's going to be a very common conversation right there. That is the bucket of highly motivated, wrong price. Again, the reason why I didn't try to push there is because, one, we're trying to offer a solution to her problem. What's her problem? She wants to sell because the pole barn got broken into. So this isn't like one of those things where like I need to like high pressure sell. It's not what we're trying to accomplish here. So that's exactly how I would want those conversations to go. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's try to get one more on here. That one, we'll put that as pending offer. So we've gotten 16 no answers, 2 I embrace no, 1 listed, 1 pending offer. So from that perspective, we've had 4 conversations and we've made 1 offer. It is $30,000 off on price, so I would definitely not consider that anywhere close to being like something that's going to get accepted. But like the direction we're headed in. So let's see if we can get another one.
Please leave your message for.
In that case right there, how often would that turn into a contract? Pretty often. That's why it's important to identify when that takes place. The bucket of highly motivated, incorrect price, and then you go through the education process. I think she was very open and honest to what was just expressed there. I would say that's probably in the 50% range of being accepted.
Hi, this is Charlene. Sorry I'm unavailable, but if you leave your name and number, I'll get back to you.
Dang it. All right. Let's. I'll answer that, Matt.
Your call has been forwarded.
What temperature does warm become hot? I'll wait for your answer. Exactly. So it's either a lead or it's
Call
not.
has been forwarded to an automated.
Because if you're trying to run a team and you have subjective forms of leads, cold, warm, hot, guess where the majority of leads go? Place to die. So it's either a lead or it's not.
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
That's not true. That's just up here. You're not listening to what I've told you. Danielle spent $2,000 and has 15 properties under contract. 2,000, 15 properties. Not me, someone that was inside of Titanium University.
Please leave your message for.
Dang it. That's 20 no answers. Angel, do you have the King Closers blueprint? Hi, is Tammy there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tammy, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Riddle's Bend. You had entered it on my website saying you're looking to sell that property. You still looking to sell?
Thank you for calling, though.
Oh, congratulations. How much you sell it for?
150.
Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
When did that lead come in? That lead came in earlier this month. She sounded like perfect seller too.
Sorry I can't be reached at this time. I'm probably busy or just can't get to my. Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
You don't have to be salesy because you're buying. You're not selling. This is the one. Oh, be the one. Be the one. Come on. Come on, Lindsay.
Hello?
Hi, is Lindsay there?
Yeah, who's this?
This is RJ Bates. I'm calling about your property there on Rockledge Drive. You had filled out a form saying you wanted to sell that property. You still looking to sell it?
If the price is right, I'll get rid of it.
Awesome. What's the right price?
The right price? $250.
250. All right. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on with it.
Well, it's a lot of space, and my wife and I don't really need all that space.
Right.
It could be fixed up, but it's a great property. If you get a chance, go by and look at it, or get on Zillow and take a look at it.
I'm taking a look at it right now. So it's what, like 1,500 square feet?
Oh no, it's more than that. It's officially saying 2,400 square feet, but it's probably could be easily converted into 3,000 square feet. It's one of those deals where you don't realize how big this place is till you come and look at it.
I see. What is it? Or you mean like when you say convert it, you mean like with the basement?
Well, it actually has a basement.
So is that included in that? Well, is okay. I got you.
Yeah, it's one of those setups where it's like walkout basement.
Uh-huh.
The bottom is bigger than the top. The bottom of the house is bigger than the top of the house.
Right.
Just walk out. Really, you'd have to see it to appreciate it. It's a lot of space.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Looks crazy. Let's see here. When I first pulled it up, I was like, what do you mean it's too big for you? I mean, it doesn't look that big. Now I understand what you're talking about. Well, now I got a picture pulled up of it.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a lot of space.
So you said it could be fixed up. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is like in the basement. The basement is officially 2,400 square feet, but there's like 3 rooms that was at one time just one big open room that I've already turned it into a big office on half of that, and the other half is just a whole nother section, but it does not have central air and central heat in it.
Okay.
So you could easily convert that to central air and central heat.
So that's what you mean by we could pretty much decide whatever square footage we wanted this to be, we could pretty much make it out to be that.
Yes. Hold on a minute, sir. Yes. This thing still ain't working? Hold on a minute. Okay. Let me get this card out of here. Okay, sir. It's one of those situations that you really gotta come check it out. It's more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Are you local?
No, sir. I'm a real estate investor based out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
So the way that our process works is me and you, we have a conversation. If based off of what you're telling me and what I could see on paper pencils out where this could be something that I could invest money in and improve the property to potentially make a profit when we sell it on the backside, then what I would do is I would make an offer to you, send a contract, and then that's when I would come see the property. Based off of what you're telling me right now, I am interested in it. just you might have already answered this, but I'm just trying to make sure I understand. The basement, is there do you know what the square footage of the basement is that is currently considered livable square footage?
Probably about more than 1,200.
Okay. All right.
I'm thinking like it's close to 1,200 at the. It's probably more than. It's bigger there's a big den section that would be considered bigger than the top of the house which you walk into.
Mm-hmm.
So what's at the top, you got everything at the top, at the bottom, except for at the bottom, you got an additional room.
Correct. Gotcha. Okay. So with that being said, you said you want 250 for the property, correct?
Yeah.
How did you come up with the 250?
Basically, I come up with the 250 with the what they charge me for taxes.
Uh-huh.
And what I've done, the equity that I put into it myself.
Gotcha. Because
so yeah. Do you have time? See, I'm at work right now.
Uh-huh.
I'll be home in 30 minutes. If you got time to talk to me where I can focus and actually I can show you pictures, send you pictures of the real deal. I can let you look around the property on the outside, the inside, and then you can see what's really there.
Absolutely. You said about 30 minutes?
Yes, in about 30 minutes.
Okay. It'll be myself or someone on my team that gives you a call back, okay?
Okay.
But we'll call you in about 30, 40 minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's another one where he's motivated, but the price is definitely wrong. That's why I was asking him, where did he get that from? That answer that he gave right there, that's a tough one. Tax assessed value, and then he said he's put money, aka his equity, in it. That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to overcome right there. It's definitely not going to be the one I end on. Hello? Okay.
Please leave your message for
Killing my numbers here with these no answers. Kill my throat with nothing to drink. Need something to drink. If anyone on my team can hear me. Man. Best smell ever.
your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Debbie Coleman.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier. Today's one of the worst days to call. Day after a holiday. I started that on the implementation call this morning with Titanium University. It's notorious to be one of the worst days.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
I don't know where we got this at. This is given to me. Ah, it's Paula there. Hey, Paula, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property there on Seminary Street. You had said you wanted to sell that property a while ago. Did you sell it? You want to sell it now?
Yeah.
Let's do this. How much you want for it?
60.
60. All right. Well, tell me a little bit about what you got going on there.
Well, it's got 2 bedrooms and the other room doesn't have a door, but it can be used as a bedroom. The middle room, we've got 2 water heaters here. Big yard. I don't know what else to tell you.
What's got you looking to sell?
Because we're wanting to visit to senior community.
Gotcha.
We just can't handle it that good anymore. All the taxes are paid up. It's 100% paid off. This has 2 lots. We have 2 other lots in the back, but he's gonna let his niece have that part.
Gotcha. Okay, so you said it's a 3-bed. How many baths?
1.
1. And then is it like 1,600 square feet? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's an old seminary school. This has been here a long time, and it's made out of brick.
Gotcha. All right.
And the gutters need cleaned. 1 piece of the gutter did fall down, and there's like 1 or 2 pieces of aluminum siding that's come loose. But
So
they
if I were to say I could do 60, that was the number you said you wanted.
yeah,
What's the timeline that you guys would want to actually close? Because you got to find the place you want to go, right?
yes, about 30 to 60 days.
Okay.
We got a text today that the senior community thing in Connersville, which is about 15
we were gonna go check there tomorrow.
Okay. Well, this could all be perfect timing, huh?
Yeah.
I call you today. I buy your property. The senior community says they're ready. They got an opening. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So talk to me a little bit about what would need to be done to the property to like fix it up and make it as nice as possible. What needs to be done to it?
Well, I would say just like maybe some new aluminum siding, new gutters, and they'll need painted, and probably need new carpets too, because these are kind of old. And I don't know. That's what. And maybe you might want to. I already said siding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's in the kitchen yelling.
What about like the systems like AC, heater, hot water heater, stuff like that? Is that all working?
Well, we don't have AC. We just have
No
a
AC.
window air conditioner,
Okay.
and it stays pretty cool enough all winter for that because, you know, it's brick plus we got all the trees.
Right.
So that shades it. And the heater was replaced, I don't know how many years, probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
And because we had people come in here and supposed to have updated it, but I think they cut a couple corners or something. There is a problem with the electric in the bathroom from where they replaced it, and just the overhead light in the kitchen.
Okay. And is the property just in Steven's name? Is that correct?
And who?
It says Stephen Woolley. Is that the correct person?
No, the property is in mine and Randy. Paula
Randy.
Stewart and Randy Cantrell.
Okay, just to make sure I've got this correct. It's 218 West Seminary Street. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. There we go. All right. Much
I
better.
don't know where that name could have come from because his family's owned this since the 80s.
That's 218 East Seminary. That was my fault.
Oh, okay.
I had the wrong address pulled up. All right. So you need 30 to 60 days. Let me verify the year built here. Your property was built in 1900, correct?
Randy, do you know when this was built? When was this built? Yeah, he said 1900.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. 30.
Randy did have one other concern about will he have to keep the utility on, or can you guys handle the utilities as soon as we sign?
As soon as we sign the contract?
Yeah.
No, it would have to happen. The utilities would go in our name when the property is actually closed upon in that 30 to 60 days. Why are you guys struggling to keep those on?
Well, we didn't know if we could keep it going for two places. Because if we move into the community, we're going to be responsible for stuff there. And we didn't know if we could pay there and here.
Well, ideally, we would try to time it to where there's not much of a gap between you guys moving and the closing. We would try to make it to where that's pretty close together. So that way the property's not sitting vacant for a while. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now, will we have to pay something like closing costs? Is there any fees that we will be responsible for?
No, ma'am. Actually, funny enough, you bring that up because I was going to say I might need the property for a little bit better of a price because we do cover the closing costs. There's no realtor commissions. We don't have any realtors involved or anything like that, but we do cover the closing costs, which normally equal to be a couple $1,000s. The only thing that would be potentially taken out of your proceeds would just be any property taxes owed for this year. So I know
We
you.
already paid them.
Okay. So then realistically, whatever that number is would be net to you. It looks like I need to be closer to around 50,000 though. Is that something that you guys think you could work with?
Probably I'd have to talk to him.
You want to go talk to him real quick and see if he has any questions for me and see what he thinks?
Randy, you got any questions? He said not that he can think of.
Ask him what he thinks about that 50,000.
We did have one offer. Well, 60, but
Why'd y'all not go with it?
excuse me,
I said, why didn't you go with it?
because he's making questions, like utilities and stuff, and just, I don't know,
I got you. I mean, I don't know. 60 seems like that would be pretty hard for me because I'm assuming based off of what I'm seeing on Google Street and then some of the things that you said need to be done, I'm assuming I'm probably going to put somewhere in the range of 25 to 30,000 in rehab into it. And if I do that, I mean, I'm right at like 15-16% profit margins at 50,000. I might be able to come up a little bit, but like I said, that's me covering the closing costs and closing on your timeline. But I mean, but you guys already had that offer at 60 and Randy didn't like that one.
well, and closing stuff would come out of it.
I'm saying nothing's coming out of this. That number is net to you guys.
Okay.
So the 50,000 is what you guys would get.
Okay, now, it's been saying something about cash in hand. So we've never sold a place before. We never bought one. His parents bought it. And so we're pretty much clueless.
So we go through a title company. So we sign a contract. We send that contract to the title company. The title company, then they do what's called a title commitment. They're just going to make sure there's no liens or anything, which you already said everything's paid off. So that's to ensure me that there's nothing owed on the property. Once they say, hey, there's nothing owed on the property, whenever you and I are ready to close, you go sign documents, signing it over to me. I sign documents, buying the property. I give the title company the money, and then they give you the money. So that way we're all protected. There's a third party that closes this. That's what they do for a living.
Okay.
So you're not going to get cash. I'm buying it with cash, but they're going to give it to you in either a check or a wire.
Okay.
So it's not going to be like, under the table, I'm bringing you a briefcase full of money. They're going to give it to you however you want, check or a wire. Most people just get it wired.
Okay.
But no, it's very common, title companies, they take care of it. What they do is they just make sure everybody's protected in the process.
Okay. another thing, we don't know nothing about it, and he's been cautious because he's afraid that somebody's gonna try to, get us.
I completely get it. The beautiful thing about doing business with someone like us is you can look us up. We're very visible online. Myself in particular.
One that did that, like the one guy that really was he kept changing his name. He was saying it was this, and then I said, well, why is this name on there? And he's saying that was his first name, and the other one was his second name. And then I looked it up online, and it was saying that his name was the opposite, of what he said. And see, we're just trying to be cautious.
You guys like watching those house flipping shows?
Yeah, Randy loves those.
So there's one on A&E called Zombie House Flipping. You guys ever heard of that one? So I actually was on Zombie House Flipping. We did a house here. It was called the Cat Poop House. It was full of cat poop. So they put us on TV. It was horrible. But no, my name doesn't change. My name's always RJ Bates III. So you can definitely look us up. And then the other thing is more importantly, I think it's also about the fact that you're going through a license title company that is their job is to protect both you and I in the process. So there's no way that anything could ever happen. Like I can't own your house without giving you the money. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that I would be asking you to sign would be a contract that says you're selling me the house for the $50,000. At that point in time, you don't sign anything else until we get to closing. And then that comes directly from the title company. And then as soon as you sign those documents, that's when they give you the money is right after that.
Okay. So how long is that going to take approximately?
Well, that's when I said, how long would you need? You said 30 to 60 days. So whenever you would say like in that 30 to 60 day window where you're like, hey, I'm moved, I'm ready to get my money, then that's when we would close. So probably in that 30-day range, it sounds like, especially if you guys find a place pretty quick. 30 days is the average time it takes us to close.
Okay. Well, I think that's all. Randy. Yes, here. Could you send me the contract so I can read it over?
Yes, ma'am. Let's see what we got here. Email wise, I've got 94. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that over to you to review. Well, actually, I need Randy's email. Does Randy have an email?
No.
No? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to you twice. I'm going to send it to your email for you, and then I'll send it to your email for Randy. Okay. And then you guys can call this number. This is the office line. Feel free to ask for me, or anybody on my team can really help you, minus the bookkeeper. She can't help you, but anybody else can help you with any questions that you guys have. It's a simple 2-page agreement, and I'll send that over to you probably here in the next 10-15 minutes, and then you guys look it over. Feel free to give me a call if you have any questions. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Paula. Hopefully we can get this deal done for you guys. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that one was a blend of highly motivated, Price is Right, highly motivated, Price is Wrong. Obviously, we had to get 10,000 off. Moves us to about 17 to 18% profit margin for our end buyer there. Indiana, like that one. So contract sent. So this is where we had 28 no answers. Of course, I was calling a lot of the old leads that had already been called, like we already knew they weren't answering, but 28 no answers. 2 embrace no. 1 listed. 1 offer. 1 sold. 1 follow-up. 1 contract. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 35 dials. We'll get at least 1 contract out of that, potentially 2 because of the pending offer. What I do want to bring to attention there, that was about an hour and a half of calling, and there was 35 dials. Okay. I think the vast majority of people do not dial enough throughout the day. So I think, I mean, listen, we really had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 conversations. I mean, it's pretty much the KPIs right there. 1 out of 7. And the thing is when I say that, it's like, yeah, but RJ, you really called 35 people. We're going to talk to those 28 people that didn't answer. I want to reiterate that to you guys, where it's like we get a hold of them. It's not like they just don't ever answer. Because even if they don't answer through our efforts, we put them in a dialer. We're going to get a hold of them. And then I think what you'll see is how quick I was able to get through the no's, and the everything else. That's the power of the closer's formula right there that really helps you be more efficient. Property leads is amazing. I recommend property leads to everybody. So why would the year built be too old if there's comps that are not built in 1900? Don't create a problem that doesn't exist. There's properties that were built in 1900 that have sold great comps. So that being said, let's give away some King Closer blueprints. Want to go through the list here. Nick Trash. Drop your emails if I call your name so we can get you the King Closer blueprint. Yeah, Matt Martinez. Brett Usry. I'm going Usry. Let's see who else we got here. Angel, you said you already have it. Michael T, you already have it. Angel, you already have it. I can't give it to you. You already have it. Let's see. Yeah, drop it in the chat so that way the team can come. Just put your email in there. So Nick Trash, Matt Martinez, Brett Usry, blah, 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 blah. How do I hide the caller ID? Or how do I hide the caller ID? I don't know what you mean by that. There's someone else. Steve H. You're always here commenting. you don't have it, you can get it. Trying to go back to the beginning. Those are the 4 winners. There you go. Oh wait. I don't know if the YouTube's gonna let the emails drop in there. So email this. Want to make sure you guys get this. Email that email, rjbates at titanium.investments. There's no .com, just the way that it's written. Okay. If you didn't win, you can still get it. There's a link down below where you can buy it. It's like $20-something, something like that. Hopefully, I gave you enough value today that you feel okay giving me $20. For those of you that won, thank you for participating. Thank you for being great in the chat. Appreciate everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. We're 2.5 hours in, 71 people still on here. Love it. So appreciate all the value there. Listen, we're always trying to over deliver with the value. We're trying to show you guys that there's a simpler, better, easier way to do this and close more deals. Hopefully you guys saw that today in what we were able to do with the closers formula. And listen, it's all about simplifying everything that's going on. We're trying to simplify lead generation, simplify the closing process, simplifying the comping process, simplifying the TC process, simplifying the dispo process. Okay. That's what we want to do for you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like this video. There's 75 of you guys right now watching, and we've got 33 likes. Can we get it up to 75 likes? Because with you guys liking the video, like, it makes such a huge impact to what it tells YouTube. It tells YouTube, like, hey, more people want to see this. So if everybody watching right now can like this video and get it up to 77, there's 77 of you guys right now. If we can get it up to 77 likes, it's going to be huge. So I appreciate that. Appreciate all the support that you guys are always giving us. Again, if you want to get the King Closers blueprint videos, there's some seller call reviews and stuff like that that no one's ever seen besides the ones that bought the King Closers blueprint. There's a link down below. We're up to 42 likes. We're up to 42. We're not in the 70s, but at least 5 of you did it. Make sure you like the video, guys. Appreciate y'all. See you guys on tomorrow's video.